You know, it's so funny that we sometimes get so caught up with what we want and, you know, what our goals, and sometimes we set short-term goals that we actually forget the bigger picture, and we forget the long-term goal or the end goal, or what's the reason behind all of this. You know, one day you might have waken up and you said, I want to pass my ADC exams, and it just becomes a thought and you become obsessed with it. But you don't realize why you decided what you decided and why you are doing what you are doing. Now, before anything, it is important for us to have a what. What is your what? What do you want? What is it that you want? Is it, I want to migrate to Australia? Is it, I want to work in Australia? And it doesn't matter what kind of job, as long as I get a job and I get a visa and I make good money, then that's fine. Or is it, I want to pass my ADC exams? And honestly speaking, is it going to be only part 1, or is it going to be both part 1 and part 2? Because I have seen a lot of people doing their part 1, thinking that they want to do their part 2, and then kind of like stopping in the middle. I want to finish the ADC so that I can go back to my country and you know, work as a specialist, or be at a higher level and say that I graduated, you know, that I have a dental board from Australia. You have to really ask yourself, what exactly do you want? And I believe, since you are here today and you are listening to this video, it means that what you want is to pass the ADC exams. So that's your goal, right? So the question following that goes to your how. You know, how are you going to achieve this goal? How are you going to pass your exams? How are you going to prepare for it? How are you going to perform? And that's where, you know, it goes collecting information and doing the courses and getting a mentor and your coach and submitting your work and practicing and getting your home set up and going to the training center. You know, that's all of the how. Well, once you get to know the how, do you know that only knowing the what, which is passing the ADC, and the how, which is getting the courses and all the information required, if you don't really know your why, the most important part of the whole equation is your why. Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever asked yourself, why do I want to pass ADC? Why do I want to migrate to Australia? Why do I want to work as a dentist in Australia? Why do I want to make more money? Why do I want to be a better dentist and go back to my country? You know, we always present superficial reasons, but if you dig really deeper, you find that there is a way bigger why than yourself. So let's start with me. To me, I was in Jordan, just graduated, and I was sick and tired of the way the living was. We weren't in poverty. I come from a good family, from a middle income. Both father and father-in-law very educated, and both had a good, decent life. I, you know, lived a good, decent life until the global financial crisis hit in between 2007 and 2011. And it's then when things started going downhill. You know, I got married while I was still studying to my lovely husband who works with me now in the business. We got married very, very foolishly young. And, you know, because we didn't know our why that time, we were like, oh yeah, we're in love and we want to get married. Now, I know my husband since very, very young. I met him when I was 15, and no, it wasn't an arranged marriage. We actually got in a lot of trouble because it's a taboo to, you know, to love someone before marriage. So sorry that I'm sharing two personal stories, but I think it gives you a perspective to know other people's stories and what they did in their life and what kind of decisions they did, so that you understand that once you step foot into literally one of the hardest experiences and journeys you will ever come across, it sets a solid foundation for you to remain foot and for you to remain focused. Because here's the thing, it's going to be a goddamn hard journey. No matter how easy I make it, no matter how much information I give you, no matter how step-by-step thing I'm going to give you, it's going to be a goddamn hard journey. And that is why it's really important for you to know your why you are doing what you are doing. Because when those moments that comes and creeps in your head and start wanting to give up, and you're going to have a lot of those moments, when you have a bigger why, when you have a bigger purpose, when you know exactly why you are doing what you are doing, and you have that end goal in mind, and you're picturing yourself on the other side when you reach that stage, you're going to self-doubt yourself for a couple of seconds, minutes, days, but then you'll go back on that horse and pick yourself up and say, I'm going to keep going. So to me, financially, we were just not able to survive anymore in Jordan. My father-in-law lost his company. He got in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and yet he was still paying for my own university tuition, and I will be forever in debt for him. I'm so, so grateful for him. My father lost his job of 17 years, and suddenly to be told that you need to leave the country. He was living in Saudi Arabia. And we had a little girl. You know, when we got married, I had a little girl. I was pregnant in my 4th year. So I got engaged in my 2nd year of dental school. I got married in my 3rd year of dental school. I got pregnant in my 4th year of dental school, and I had a baby in my 5th year of dental school. And guess what? I had my baby in the middle of the final exams. And I said to myself, I have to leave the country. This is not working for us. I had my colleagues already graduating, and they were barely making $400 a month. I said, we're not going to survive that way. And we were thinking, okay, maybe we go to one of the other countries in the Middle East where it's more comfortable. But it wasn't just about the money. It was about the lifestyle, and it was about being educated. And I always wanted to do masters and PhD and more education, and I knew that going to a first world country would be better. So that was one of my whys. The other why was, it's all connected, you know. To me, my two main drivers is significance and adventure. I love adventure and I love feeling significant. So it was aligning with my values that I didn't feel significant. I felt I wasn't really doing anything with my life, and I love the adventure, which is obviously leaving a country, going to another country. And yes, even though my childhood was in Australia, it was different. You know, I left it when I was 10, and now I'm coming back to it when I was like 23 or 24, something like that. So it was a big gap. So I told myself, we have to go for a better future for me and my husband and my daughter. And, you know, I know that the government will help us. I know that dentists there are get more money, they have a better lifestyle, they have a better stable job, and we'll finish the exams, we'll make good money, and then we might go back to the Middle East. That didn't happen, but you know, you never know. So my why, and I didn't realize that until a long time ago, my why was I wanted a better future for my family. I knew that my parents-in-law was going to rely on us some way or another. I knew that my parents are going to rely on us some way or another. Even if it wasn't then, I knew that later on they need their kids to support them, and I wanted to be that person. I knew that with my husband, he would not get the job that he is dreaming about there. I knew that my daughter deserved a much better life than she was at, and every time I was taking her to daycare, I was crying because I knew that the system there was not good enough. I couldn't even afford the more expensive one, and even the more expensive one, they just don't have the same standards as the first world countries, especially in Australia. Honestly, Australia is even, I truly believe that it's even better than UK and better than USA, and maybe better than Canada. I feel like Canada and Australia are almost on the same level. So to me, my why was always bigger than just me. I want to pass and I want to make more money for me. It was always about other people who are relying on me. So I felt a very big responsibility to stick to that and keep moving forward. And it is that reason why, if I talk to you about the amount of obstacles to come to the country, because we didn't have money to apply for the visa, what I had to do, I actually tutored. You know, that's where my teaching started. I literally tutored even before finishing my internship, and was working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, tutoring students who were in their second and third year. And by the way, I'm still in contact with them till this day, and one has become a specialist, and the other one is doing PhD, and the other one has the most successful clinic ever, and the other one is a cosmetic dentist, and they always send me messages and we keep in contact. So look how back this beautiful journey of teaching, how I love. And from that, arriving to the country, not knowing anything, not being given job opportunities, being slammed the door in front of me of maybe 200 applications before even I got the first phone call for interviews. ADC decided to shut the exams, and I couldn't apply because I didn't have my English test then. And when I finished my English test then, they said we're not doing exams anymore, and I had to wait until 2014. And then in 2014 they said, oh, you know what, we don't even need the English test anymore. So my English got expired and I had to do it again when I passed my exams. And then, you know, from part 1 to part 2, you probably know the story by now. So many obstacles, so many doors just slammed in front of my face. And I am a very, very, very strong person, but even the strong person reaches a point where they just want to give up. And when the final time, you know, when I found out, before I found out, we said, okay, we're just going to Jordan, we're going to get a loan, and we'll buy a house there and open a clinic, and whatever happens, happens. And then I find out that I'm pregnant with the twins, and I was like, oh my God, how are we going to raise 4 kids in Jordan? So we have to stay, but what am I going to do? I can't pass this exam. And literally I go and, you know, get a seat just like that. And that time I was just so sick and tired, and I said, you know what, I'm not even going to practice that much. I'm just going to do what I know. I've shut from all Facebooks and all these people and all these negative things and all these perfectionists and do this and do that and do. I just shut down and focused, did the exam, and had no expectations whatsoever of passing. Didn't even care anymore. And did the exam, went to Jordan, started talking to banks so that we apply for the loan. And I said, you know, we'll just figure it out. We'll deliver the babies there and we'll just figure it out. And if we can't, you know, survive financially, we'll just go back to Australia and I'll work back into what I was doing with the government. And it's how everything works out in the end. Because I had that big why, it's not that I gave up. It's not that I said, I'm going to do this exam and I'm going to fail. I said, I am going to do this exam and I'm going to do everything I can, but I don't care anymore about the results. It does not define me. It does not define my future. It does not define my life. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not, I'm ready to move on. And when I say I'm ready to move on, it might be taking a break and then doing back the part one. But sometimes you just need to allow yourself to just breathe a little bit. So anyway, I do the exam, give my very best, and it was the first time ever out of the 4 attempts that nothing wrong went in the exam, nothing. And I was so scared. You know, there was no faulty 2, there was no lack of organization from ADC, because this was their 4th time running the exam in this new system. So we were literally the guinea pigs. And in that time I said, I'm so scared that if I fail this time, I am the failure. I am the person who is stupid, because this time I can't find any excuse that the exam did not work well or it wasn't organized well. And guess what? One day before going back to Australia, so said goodbyes to my friends and relatives, one day before my birthday, because it was on the same day we're gonna leave, I received the results that I passed my exam. How freaking awesome is that? I received my results one day before my birthday and one day before leaving Jordan, going back to Australia to get things ready for us to leave the country. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in the right time. You have to have a big why. You have to have a why that is bigger than yourself. Your kids, your husband, your wife, your partner, your family, your relatives, something bigger than you, okay? Because it's when those times where you might fail, and you might not even fail like in the exam, you might fail before, you know, doing the task again and again, and it's just not working out, and you're not feeling confident, and you're doubting yourself, and you're comparing yourself with others, which you shouldn't. And you're just having those moments where it's creeping in and you don't know what to do anymore. Remember your why, and remember, if they did it, I can do it. And I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it because I want a better future. Because even if it's just you, you're single, you don't have anybody relying on you, and it's just you. You want a better lifestyle. You want a better job opportunity so that you deliver the best treatment for your patients as well. Because guess what? When you're not being paid what you are worth, you just simply burn out and you stop wanting to treat patients, or you start compromising on the quality of your treatment because you need to make money somehow. So you are doing this for even your patients. You are upskilling yourself. You are learning so much. If you understand how valuable what this exam is and what this program is and what we're doing with you and what the exam is doing with you, you are doing it to step up. You are doing it to be extraordinary. You're not just a dentist. You are you. And what more could you imagine? So remember your why.